What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Final Fantasy 15 and how I'm just growing so sick of it. Seriously, how is this still being talked about? They just did a live stream today announcing the fact that they're going to keep making more DLC past the 1 year mark. It looks like they may be doing a second season pass just to support all the content they're doing with the multiplayer and the single player. It is just ridiculous, and frankly, I'm actually upset about it. Now, the reason why is because I've put 150 hours into this universe now. That counts beating the main game and getting a platinum trophy for doing every single challenge, getting every single trophy and special time on all the DLC, and now putting tons and tons of hours into the multiplayer. At what point do we just go, alright, that's enough Final Fantasy 15. I'm ready for something new. Well, apparently Square Enix disagrees, because when you think about it, there is now a Final Fantasy 15 fishing game, which requires virtual reality, 3 cell phone games, and also an anime. And if you buy the special edition of the anime, this is the anime and the movie in one, if you buy the special edition of the movie. This is how far they're going with it. Everything is going to be Final Fantasy 15. Now, the reason this upsets me so much is because they're just so fixated on constantly milking this. I'm totally fine with supporting a game way after launch. I like that. And let's face it, there was some updates that were badly needed to make Final Fantasy 15 a better game. The added cutscenes and some of the updates have really made it an overall more improved experience. We got the story we deserved. But each one of these DLCs, in my opinion, adds so little. My favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VII, and part of that comes from the fact that it is a little bit mysterious. There are some answers that we never quite have. Where is Jenova from? Are there more creatures like Jenova? At what point did Sephiroth really lose his mind, and was it because of the experimentation? All of this is so incredibly important, and it's not explained, which creates more of a mythos. You want to play Final Fantasy VII longer because you want to try and find the secrets on your own. Now, if I just got to pay $10 for a little 2-hour cutscene, basically, a little standalone DLC that was like, hi, this is some Final Fantasy VII DLC of Sephiroth going over and working on some gears for 2 hours, and he explains his childhood. That, to me, is not as fulfilling as the mystery itself. The DLC for Final Fantasy 15 has been interesting, if nothing else. I've played a lot of it, and I enjoyed my time, but it's coming to this point where I just feel like they are going to keep sticking with Final Fantasy 15, or any of their games, until they just finally have to quit, until they have to start working on Final Fantasy 16. Now, the reason that disturbs me so much is because realistically, Final Fantasy 16 is probably going to take another 5 years. It took an extremely long amount of time to finish Final Fantasy 15, which makes sense. This is a giant open world experience. Well, if they plan on creating something even close to as big as this is, you can expect a equal development time. Now, here's the issue that kind of sticks with me, is the fact that they're clearly keeping some of their best developers on this project. Tabata, who in my opinion is one of the sharpest minds within Square Enix, is stuck working on 15. In an interview he did just yesterday, he was actually talking about the fact that he feels like his life is being shortened by the stress that's happened because of Final Fantasy 15. Now, obviously he's joking, but that's a really strong statement when you realize that he has spent so many years trying to get this up and running, and now he's shackled to it. Final Fantasy 15 is becoming a rock that is holding down the series. I fully believe that they're probably going to try and do a 15-2 and a 15-3. This is going to become another freaking example like Final Fantasy 13. Trying to make one game with one good story into a trilogy just for the money. I cannot freaking believe this is happening, and I'm so freaking disappointed. Because, let's face it, Final Fantasy VII Remake is probably going to be really cool, but if they're purposely dragging that out to make it a trilogy, it's just making me lose faith in a company I respect so much. Now that's a little bit dramatic, and I am honestly exaggerating a little bit just because I am so frustrated. I just want Final Fantasy 15 to be done. The story sums up nicely. At this point, we've seen what all the guys are doing, and we've even seen the multiplayer showing that the world has moved on, but for some reason, we're still here. The reason I've become so obsessed with the Final Fantasy series and made it my mission to beat every single one of them is because every journey is so different. When you step into a world, you know that the combat will be different, the heroes will be unique, and the things they have to fight are something you've never seen before. That is the addiction of this franchise. It's what's kept me coming back ever since I was 12 years old. And now, as an adult, I'm still wanting to go back, but into these fresh lands. Give us something new and not just a piece of DLC. Final Fantasy 15 at this point is done. Let it die. The world of Eos is saved. Light has returned. Freaking set it down. If you're gonna keep working on it, put a very tiny team of like 10 people to create patches. It does not need to be a 100-man team. Think about the fact that some of the biggest and best projects that have come out this year were made by 50 to 200 people. That means, realistically, this studio that's still working on 15 could easily begin production on Final Fantasy 16. Start it now. Make it where I don't have to wait until 2020 to have that controller in my hand. I'm sorry, not even 2020, 2023. Because if they're starting production in 2018 and it takes 5 years, we're not going to have it until 2023. I'm fine doing the wait. I kind of like the wait. The anticipation and the journey of seeing new teasers and new trailers. That's part of the fun of playing a game now. But if they're not freaking beginning it until they're done creating art and side story and 15 more updates, that means realistically we might not get it until 2025. Look, you need to make your money back. I understand that. You spent a lot of money making Final Fantasy 15 and you're trying to recoup that. I'm totally fine. That is something logical. But at this point, how have you not done it? With all the cell phone games, movies, anime, constant updates, expansions, cosmetic gear, special cars, at what point do you have enough cash to set it down and move on? We're reaching a breaking point within the community. During the live stream where they were talking about the 2018 updates, the chat was constantly spamming Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 16, and I was one of them. Let's begin the next chapter of this legendary saga. Let's begin it together. What it seems like these people are forgetting is that there's definitely a time frame when it comes to hype. Keeping people excited and keeping your fans engaged requires constantly focusing them on the next great journey. That needs to be 16, or it needs to be the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Give us something to be excited about that isn't a freaking another $5 little 2-hour quest in Final Fantasy 15. But these are just the thoughts of probably one of the biggest fans of the Final Fantasy series. I'm still going to be playing the heck out of this DLC, and hopefully there's something big on the horizon, because right now, my hype is dying out. But what do you think about this? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. Have you bought any of this DLC, and are you playing Final Fantasy 15 Comrades? Do you think that the overall experience of this first year with the game has actually been positive or negative? Let me know everything you're thinking in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Look, I still want these extra little tidbits of story in 15, like talking about Arden. Let's learn about Arden. But I feel like that could be a 6-minute cutscene you put in a free update. Just stop with all this stupid paid content, and if you come out with a second season pass, all hell is gonna break loose. Oh, hey, I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm gonna come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad, and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.